SharkyBreath.
He plays video games.
Hello, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. First things first, I was standing here looking through my objectives and such, and I realized that through the act of saving and loading, Gary's gone. Apparently now that I took his armor shirt, Gary has slunk off in disgrace, and I guess that's fair enough. Speaking of armor shirt, I should take that off. I was only putting it on to harass Gary, after all. Well, what are we doing next? Oh, right, we gotta go find Smoking Guy. Yes, so what do I need for a task like that? That's a great question. I wish it was possible to sort these clothing thingies by the slot they fill, rather than... I honestly don't know what order they're in right now. I guess we'll throw back on my Helmdahl shirt. That should be just fine. Oh, it was pointed out to me in the comments that I unthinkingly betrayed my horrific necktie. I had forgotten that it says here, it's your friend now. You will betray it if you change it for some boring scarf. But, I mean, it's not just any boring old scarf. It's a horrifying eight-eyed crow skull. I understand. I would imagine there are people who never take it off for that very reason. And I salute you for that, but apparently I didn't have the attention to detail, the loyalty necessary for that. Terribly sorry about that. In any case, why don't we just, wait a second. This thing here, pain threshold and half-light, but not so good at the drama. I'm still hanging out with Cam. I should probably keep my esprit de corps up a little bit. Yeah, probably. And we'll get that perception going again. That should be just fine. Okay. Cool. Lovely. So. Oh, hey, my boss is gone, too. I swear my boss was here a minute ago. Well, I mean, last episode, I swear my boss was here. But whatever, he's gone now. And there's this guy here, but he didn't want to talk to me, and that's just fine. All right, enough beating around the bush. I have to go talk to Smoking Guy. I'm already half an hour late. Admittedly, I'm not exactly keeping Kim waiting, because he is here with me, but... Oh, boy, it's raining again. Is there any purpose in putting on a rain jacket in the rain, do you think? I mean, obviously, like, if this was the real lives, then yes, there would be a point, but it's not. Very specifically, it's not, you know? Billy. Well, she wouldn't be here this late at night anyway, but still. I can't even walk by it without remembering. Okay. Let's see here. Wasn't there a way to get to the apartment complex by just circling around behind this building here? I believe there was. Hello, wall. At some point, probably I should do that. That thing. Door! Okay. Let's get up to the balcony and do this thing. Oh, okay, we got... Oh, hey, look who's here. Okay, so first off, a maroon glow of light pollution rises from the east. And you hear distant traffic. Night is falling on the city. It has already fallen, you might say. But the guy's just there, standing outside the apartment. That's unexpectedly straightforward. Okay. Should I pay attention to my stats, actually? What kind of stats do I think I'm going to need for something like this? Is authority going to matter? Probably not as much as empathy. So probably I stick with the ledger. Is there anything else I need to... I technically have all these skill points. I could throw them into something. And I'm still not working on any thoughts either. Here's the thing. There's all this stuff that I feel like I should do, but I also feel like I don't know if I want to waste time doing it on camera, but then I also don't want to do it without anybody knowing what I'm doing. I'm torn on whether I should do it on camera or not. I want to go through all the thoughts, but I need to find things I can get rid of. And I think probably White Morning is the way to go, right? I've explored almost the entire map, everything that I have available at the moment. Motorix learning caps being raised by one isn't that big of a deal because my learning caps and all those are quite high anyway due to the stats I started with, so I think I can safely do away with White Morning, and I'm going to do that now. Yes. Great. Okay, so what are we going to learn instead? What are we going to put in there instead? We got the Superstar Thought, Cop of the Apocalypse, Finger Pistols, Bringing of the Lawjaw, Fairweather T500, Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center. The Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center is really fast. It subtracts from my suggestion, which may be a bad thing during this next engagement, but I don't know if I'm going to be necessarily suggesting this particular guy, although suggestion may be necessary to get him to talk to me about what he's seen. Since clearly he doesn't wish to. He doesn't want to be witnessed by his neighbors. But then again, we're talking to him late at night, so maybe he'll be more cooperative. I don't know. Wait a second. Did it cost a skill point to forget a thought? Did I see that right? Didn't I used to have 4? Oh, that complicates matters, doesn't it? Oh, that complicates matters a bit, doesn't it? Somehow I missed that. That it costs skill points to forget thoughts? Oh, no. I genuinely missed that entirely. Anyway, I'm going to do Wompty Dumpty Dom Center because I might actually finish it up within this next section, I suspect, you know? Maybe. At least I'll probably still be awake when it happens, which with any other thought, it's going to be in the morning, and I guess that's fine, too. Hi. How you doing? Why did I put the raincoat on again? Right, because it was raining. Seems like a good reason, but then... Visual Calculus Esprit de Corps. What did this one do? Pain Threshold and Half-Light. Well, if I need Half-Light, I can always change out in the middle of the conversation. I've done it before. Hi. How are you?
Gendarmerie. You found me.
A little bit. The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from his cigarette. Yes, hello.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds.
Is it? How is it backlit by city lights? He's standing against a wall. That's an impressively dramatic lighting effect to pull off when you're standing against a wall there, smoker on the balcony. We found a key hidden under a stone. Was it yours?
It was mine. My friends use it from time to time to visit me.
As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes. Continue.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for, yes. Honestly, I'm just trying not to screw anything up. I'm not going to make things just right. I'm going to make them spectacular. Ignore his question. I was hoping to talk to a possible witness. Your balcony overlooks the murder scene. What am I trying to do here, right? As I explained to Joyce, I intend to make this case the thing that people remember me by. Which I guess, come to think on it, was kind of the superstar answer, wasn't it? As much as I resisted, that's kind of where that leans towards. Making things right, not make things worse, make things even better. I mean, like, idealism's not bad, right? It's a little unrealistic, but, like, sure.
Beautiful,
he says again. A nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones. Continue.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
He nods towards door 28. His Sunday friend. Right, he did say something about a Sunday friend, didn't he? How did he know? Well, I guess we're the police, and we spotted him. He probably knew that there was a decent chance that we were going to come after him. But how did he know today? Or did he just invite his Sunday friend over every day, ever since we saw him the one time? Was that yesterday? I don't remember. By the way, I'm really digging the view here, point to the city skyline. Why would I want to meet your friend? Very well, I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions. City skyline? It seems like it's nice.
Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this place.
He looks away.
Martinez is special, isn't it?
He looks away, his cigarette end glowing in the dark. Seems to be. Continue.
Wait. Suddenly you're digging things?
The lieutenant whispers to you, shaking his head. Is that new? Is that different? Is that an art cop thing? I genuinely don't know. Sure. Give me a refresher on why I'd want to meet your friend there, smoker on the balcony.
Trust me. You do.
Okay, very well. I'll talk to him, but I have to talk to you first.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
I mean, I'm always specifically looking for you, but, fair enough, I guess. We're doing this on a trust basis. Continue.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark, and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one.
Right. He doesn't want to talk when there's neighbors witnessing it happening. Sure. He's smoking unfiltered cigarettes. Wasn't there something with an unfiltered cigarette earlier? Or was that one that he flicked specifically after we talked to him? And then I was like, oh, cigarette, and wanted to pick it up. My brain was, but then my logic brain was like, wait a second, there's not a filter on that. I don't remember. Anyway, continue.
Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Neat. My perception must be doing fairly well these... No, it's only a 10. Okay, there's a cat. Continue.
Besides, I've got to run.
Do you?
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
Oh no, poor Inland Empire. Are you just upset that I took off the horrible tie? Is that what's going on?
Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again.
Run where? But I just found you again. Go if you must. I don't care. I don't care about people leaving me all the time. Oh, do I have the option of doing multiple ones of these? He's not going to tell me where he's going. Specifically, he's not. We're not going to go straight dramatic all the way just yet. I mean, maybe it would be funny, but I just found you again.
Just look at it. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this?
He gestures towards distant motorways, all leading to Golden La Delta. I feel like most people are the answer to your question.
A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club, music blasting over the entire district. It's chilly, and as the chemicals hit his nervous system, 1,000 shivers ripple through his body.
A man on high heels in a basement club. I suppose that is the sort of night it is. Okay, well, only if you promise that we'll talk again. It's important. All right, go then. He's not going to agree to this, but I may as well try it.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
Does it? Continue.
We'll talk. Just not tonight.
The smoker assures you, brushing his hand through the hair. Through the hair? His hair, I assume, right? Continue.
Take care, all right?
He says with another disarming smile before slipping off into the night. Okay, task complete. New task, interview the Sunday friend. There he went. There he went. Continue.
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
He's always leaving. Why is he always leaving, Kim? There's something so different about him that I just can't put my finger on. Let's go, Kim. We have to interview his Sunday friend. Why is he always leaving, Kim?
Who knows, detective? It's a mystery.
He says, turning his face away from you. I want to draw more out of Kim on this one. There's something different about him that I can't put my finger on.
Different, of course.
His shirt. Why is his shirt always unbuttoned? He's such a good listener. I like talking to him. There's just something so mysterious about the way he talks and moves. He smells good. Why on earth does he smell so good? Uh-oh. Is it... Okay. So... I feel like I need to explain something here. Whenever the game has made a point of including an option where I can suggest that Harry is gay or bi or something along those lines, I've avoided it because sexual preference is one of those things that, okay, it's one thing for me to be like, I shall inflict my political views on this police detective who knows nothing of his own past, right? That's one of those things that your way of thinking can change, but sexual preference is not, as far as I know, that malleable, you know? It's not one of those things you can just be like, I've decided I'm going to be this way about it, and so it feels weird to just decide that for Harry. Of course, he doesn't remember anything, but it does seem that Harry is attracted to the smoking man. Or at least I've accidentally played it that way, one way or another. Let's go with the mysterious option.
Something so mysterious about the way he talks.
The lieutenant squints his eyes, trying to hold back laughter. Very mysterious.
Very.
Continue. Uh-huh.
He's barely holding it together. It's all he can do to keep from bursting out in laughter.
Uh-huh. Do continue.
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
He nods at the apartment door before you. And, okay, well, fine. Have it your way, Kim. All right. Interviewing the Sunday friend. Oh, look at all this stuff. What's this? A quarterly business magazine. Hi. Have I seen you before? You don't... Governmental issues take me all over Revachol, as you can see. Why would I be able to see that? You don't live here, do you? An old photo of the same apartment, dated the year 01. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. Someone is always watching. That does seem to be the case, yeah? What's this? Buckets of paint on a layer of old newspapers. Very good. What's this? An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. And there are lootables. None of this is weird. You got... Is that a French accent? Then again, that's not that uncommon around here, is it? Dishes soaked up in a pot. An empty ashtray, and then over here. If stability is ensured, progress will naturally follow. Okay. It sounds like we probably got ourselves a, what do they call them? Well, flyers for underground parties. I almost didn't read it. We probably got ourselves a moderate, moralist, probably. In a wider sense, this is actually my apartment, and yours, okay? Dates for open lectures at a local university. All right. Let's look under the bed. What do we got down there? Sumerian conical hat, +1 logic, -1 suggestion. Okay, transparency has always been our highest priority, apparently. Who's us? Who's our? I have taken the hat. It is now my hat? Hang on. This tawny comb-shaped hat looks like a beacon of Sumerian wisdom. Its straws sticking up like antennas. Thank God you can't really see people's reactions when they see you strolling around in this incredibly insensitive headpiece. Yeah, no kidding. +1, super logical for a cop to wear this. -1 suggestion. Insensitive bachelor party vibes, no doubt about that. +1 logic, by the way. I didn't actually read that out properly. Great, what was that doing here? I wonder. I'll never know. What's this? Party Dragon's silk robe. +1 drama, +1 in electrochemistry. Okay. Guess I'll take that too. Just take all this guy's clothing, because why not? Surely there will not be consequences for this. This sleazy, silky bathing robe in vibrant blues features a roaring dragon on its front, ready to take off into the night. A red belt has been provided for fastening. It's culturally insensitive, but only for people who are not from Seoul. The rail Seoulites probably don't care. Indeed. +1 drama, become the dragon. +1 electrochemistry, become an addict in a strange bathing robe. Bathing robe. I can read words. I'm very good at it. Great. Well, I guess let's talk to this Sunday friend. Hi.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
The man in business casual removes his cufflinks. Why did you wait until now to do that?
His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
And he's talking to a man who knows the importance of stat bonuses. Continue.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur la Clé.
Great, great. So definitely one of those, why did I lose it again already? The moderates. You're from the coalition government specifically, so yes. Check. Got it. Continue.
I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
I would love to, I think. Continue.
Hanging? What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things.
Says conceptualization. Sure, I guess we could do that. Point at the bed. Before we go on, I absolutely have to inquire about this wonderful canopy. Show him the silk robe. Before we get to that, can you tell me where you got this beautiful silk robe from? Show him the Sumerian hat. We'll get to that right after you tell me the story behind the black Sumerian hat. It's not black. Why does it... I don't know. Get down to business. Hello, Mr. Vildrouin. Let's get started. Vildrouin. I didn't actually pay attention when you were saying your own name, but I'm guessing it's something along those lines. Small talk? Canopy?
Oh, yes. My friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery.
Uh-huh. He smiles.
I believe they call this type of frame industrial. It's very comfy.
Now that you mention it, it is an industrial frame, isn't it? It's just like metal beams. It just has some fancy drapings. Interesting. Continue.
That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony. All right. Continue.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
Oh, hey, I was only able to ask him about one of the three things, and I guess that's fine. You actually witnessed the lynching? What's an official like you doing in Martinez? Can you tell me about your friend? Thanks, I've got all I need. Okay. First things first, what are you doing here? Is it just specifically just to talk to me?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled.
He raises an index finger. Okay, and how do you go about controlling the price stability?
The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment? So you're some kind of bureaucrat. What is this international community? What is the price stabilité? Enough business, let's talk about something else. But why are you here?
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off.
Really?
This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here.
Presumably, yes. They're the only ones with cannons around here, I'm pretty sure. Continue.
You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
In your own small way, fair enough. So you're some kind of bureaucrat?
Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability.
Price stabilité.
This is one of the main projects of the Moral Intern.
He glances at his watch. I'm wasting his time. What a shame. Continue.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not.
That was a success from Encyclopedia. Not knowing the answer to something. Interesting. Okay. So we've added 2 more options to the conversation by wasting his time. I'm sure he's going to love this. Tell me about the price stability.
It is the most important thing.
That doesn't tell me anything. That clears everything up. I mean, it doesn't tell me anything specifically.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy.
Sure.
Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment.
Sure. Sounds good. Continue.
Which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
You do like your stability, huh?
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Yeah, I mean, I figured. Thanks, Kim.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce.
Okay.
That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Below 2% of what? This is fascinating, but I wanted to ask you something else. Sure, let's pursue it further. 2% of what?
Not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
Mm-hmm. You're not answering my questions at all. I mean, that is true, but also, wouldn't you kind of need a basic knowledge of economics in order to really understand an economist talking about economics? I don't know. You're not answering my questions, though.
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
No, I'm good. Okay, sure, give me a leaflet. Give me the leaflet. Maybe I can pawn it later.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the Moral Intern.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reason why I identify as a moralist.
Couldn't have seen that one coming. Continue.
But I don't have my leaflets on me today.
How dare you?
That's too bad.
How dare you?
You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to transparency.
Uh-huh. All right. So we got the international community. I've heard about this Moral Intern before, but I want to know more. Tell me more about Sur-la-Clé. I feel like you pronounced it that way. Clé? Like the F was almost silent? I don't know. It's been over 20 years since I spent much of any brain power on French. I'm terribly sorry. What is the international community? We're going to have to get you accustomed to what talking with me is like.
La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition.
Oh.
In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
Y'all just refer to yourselves as the international community. I see. All right. So I've heard about the Moral Intern before, but I want to know more.
It's the International Organization for Moralists. Hence, Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
Turn to Kim. So what I'm hearing is that we're Moral Intern bitches. Ooh, turn to Kim. So we're actually working for the Moral Intern. That doesn't seem so bad. This is something that I already knew. This is something that I learned from Joyce. This is just for the reaction we're going to get out of the Sunday friend. That's all that this is. And possibly for... I don't know if I want to start off on that bad of a foot. You know, this one. With this guy. So I'm going to be interviewing him for a while here. But I also am always hesitant to lean into being a moralist myself, you know? I don't need to be spending this much time on questions like this. It's not that important. Fine, it doesn't seem that bad, I guess.
There are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
That does seem to be the case, he nods. Turn back to Sunday Friend. Are you a moralist? He just said he was. He specifically just said he was.
But of course.
But why? Am I a moralist? Why would he know that? But why?
Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values.
Turn to Kim. Lieutenant, are you a moralist? But what is a normal, stable world? But Martinez doesn't seem very normal or stable to me. I mean, this is one of the first times we've had an opportunity to put the lieutenant directly on the spot about this particular thing. I feel like what Kim is he's got communist ideals, but the communists were, of course, destroyed in the revolution. I mean, the jacket he wears is a hint towards that direction. So he goes along with the moralists, but doesn't necessarily agree with them. And I'm not sure I want to call him out on it right here in front of, you know, a member of the government. What is a normal, stable world?
The Occident is part of the normal world. Oranje, sur la clé.
Sure, okay. Martinez doesn't seem very normal or stable to me.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
Okay. What about the rest of Revachol? Is it part of the normal world?
Revachol is generally difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy.
Full democracy.
But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
He gives you an approving nod. Great, thanks. I don't think I'm a moralist. Moralism sounds incredibly boring. I want more action. Moralism is the ideology of foreign occupiers. Revachol must be governed by Revacholians. Democracy is a meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot heel of capital. It's like every time I'm talking to people, I'm choosing option D, none of the above. Is that moralism? Huh. So this is presumably I don't know if just saying that necessarily counts as the fascist option, but like, given these options, wait a second. Interesting. Despite me having the moralist thought in my brain, I can't actually claim to be a moralist. Not that I was planning on doing it anyway, but I can't do it. I want more action, or we need self-government, or we need to, free the proletariat, or none of the above. Every time it's like, express an opinion about your political views on this, I do tend to take option D, don't I? Now I'm curious what he's going to say, so I'm going to do it.
Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer?
I just got an achievement for being the world's most laughable centrist. Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer? Yes, everything else is super extreme. It's like I'm living with a bunch of lunatics. It's usually the most boring one. You're right.
Not boring, my friend. Responsible.
I see.
Moralism is all about compromise and achieving the achievable. It's pragmatic, realistic, and level-headed. An ideology for doers. Are you a doer, my friend? It looks to me like you are.
I'm not the good kind of doer, my friend. So I did have a moralist option, and it was the one I took. I'm fascinatingly bad at controlling the direction of these conversations. Continue, please.
Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Tell me about Sur la Clé.
What's there to say? Sur la Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS.
EPIS. EPIS. EPIS? Continue.
Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
That can be a good thing and can be a bad thing, but is certainly a condescending thing, which maybe we deserve. I don't know. Continue.
Darling, that can't be an official designation.
What makes Revachol sur la Clay's darling? That's nice of them. Let's go with number 1 on this one, please.
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Its language. I mean, that implies French, I would think, but, like, we all are speaking English right now. In your case, accented English. Possibly in my case, too, honestly. You never hear Harry's voice. Continue.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sir Leclerc's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
Hey, man, meatballs and mashed potatoes isn't bad. I feel like that's fine. But apparently, Harry disagrees. Tell me about orange? Orange. I think they pronounce it orange. I keep wanting to say orange, but that's the wrong sort of... That's not how it works. Tell me about orange.
Oranje is an example of a nation who, as a core member of EPIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur-la-Clé, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international community.
Or more specifically, Oranje. I can't do the French R anymore. Oranje. I'm not sure why you would pronounce it nye, but maybe that's just how it is pronounced in French, and I just forgot everything I know. Which one of them is more Epis? Okay, outside of Epis, what is Oranje? More Epis? Let me scroll back up to redetermine what Epis is. Not telling. Not telling. Okay. Core member of Epis. That's a meaningless question, and he's probably going to... Outside of Epis, though. Let's ask this one, because I'm guessing I'm not going to get the chance to ask both of them. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I have no way of knowing, so let's actually ask for more information here.
Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services, and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community.
I mean, it all sounds pretty nice. Continue.
But that didn't tell you anything about Oranje.
It didn't, did it? Can't you just talk like a normal person? The answer, I think you'll find, is maybe, but I'm not going to.
About what?
About Oranje. Just tell me what it's like there.
Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient.
Horse cars?
Like I said, they are an example for less emerged nations to follow.
I guess. Okay, enough business. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you wish, officer.
So, you actually witnessed the lynching?
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
The man gives a solemn nod. Turn to the lieutenant. This is just the break we've been looking for. Is it because you did it, Mr. Villedois? Start from the beginning, if you don't mind. This is hilarious but stupid. I'm going to talk to Kim.
Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions.
He eyes the spectacled man near the window, who smiles and spreads his hands. All right, I'm doing the stupid option. Is it because you did it?
Because I did it?
The man scoffs.
He's clearly not a man accustomed to being spoken to in that manner, let alone to being accused of murder.
My apologies, I misspoke. I mean, what did you see? Don't jerk my chain, paper jockey. You did it, didn't you? I feel like this is not going to go well. We're not calling him a paper jockey. It would be hilarious, but also we need to actually hear what he has to say. I apologize. I'm sorry, cop.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
Right. Okay, continue.
What do you mean, like in a play?
Lieutenant is already scribbling down notes.
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening.
But actually tell us something, though. You're not very good at actually telling us things. Continue.
I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one.
Really? The neighborhood specifically shut their lights out and closed their windows so nobody would see what exactly happened? Maybe? How would you coordinate an effort like that? Continue.
That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
But then you did anyway.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective.
He nods to you. Why are we bringing up sensitive case details in front of this guy we don't necessarily trust? Who were they? Can you describe them? How many of them were there? What happened next? So who were they?
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez.
He pauses, looking for the right wording. It seems like he just found the right wording for his taste anyway. Continue.
Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanity.
You're fairly intolerable, aren't you, my dude? How many of them were there?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
How many did I count from the souls? I'm not probably going to be able to cross-check that, unfortunately. Continue.
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
He remembers, even if I did. Were any of them huge, like 200 kilograms huge? What happened next? I guess sensitive case details, but we want to confirm what we've observed. This one. Were any of them huge?
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell.
I don't know exactly why I asked that then, because, like, we already know what the 200-kilogram person was. That's the what was his name? Fat Angus or something like that? He had an insulting nickname for a moniker, and he carried the body out to the tree, or at least that's what that particular group told me, which, again, I guess I shouldn't assume is the truth. What happened next?
I went back inside.
Why did the lights just get... Oh, because his story's over. Continue.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Probably not.
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
The incapacitated or unconscious or possibly already dead poor man. Were they men, women? What ethnicity were they? What happened next? Were they men or women?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
Okay, I don't know how I feel about asking about their ethnicities, but just because I do have a tendency to stray towards the racist here as Harry, but let's see if he has anything to say.
I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them.
I don't know what that means.
And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent.
A Mesk accent. A Mesk accent. I feel like I should know that by this time, but I've lost track of it. What happened next?
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
Almost as if they were lynching a corpse. What do you mean nothing happened? They lynched a guy.
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
Why didn't you call the RCM? You're right, that does seem strange. I'm guessing that he probably did? It's not his fault it took me a week to respond, right? Or wait. No, right. Well, I guess I have no way of knowing exactly when the RCM was reported to, so why don't we call him out on it and see if he does know that?
You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock.
The man wipes his glasses. Okay, I mean, understandable, but then how long did it take you to get it reported? Continue.
I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
Continue.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
You didn't check your watch, presuming you have one?
My watch? Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight, give or take.
Right, because he checked it earlier in the conversation. I knew he had a watch, and my detective brain apparently knew better than me, my own stupid self-brain. He looks at his watch as though noticing it for the first time. So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
Okay. You pronounced the R in corpse differently this time around. I wonder why that is. Continue.
It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for.
It's a shame about that, but we do know that he seemed limp upon them dragging him out. The victim, I mean. Continue.
I think we have everything we need. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Villedroit.
Villedroit. The lieutenant says, closing his notebook. I don't know what I was trying to say. Netbook?
Of course. Anything I can do to assist the RCM.
Sure. Interview complete. 10 experience gained. It wasn't actually that impressive. Strange that I got 70 experience for getting in here, and 10 for talking to him. Can you tell me about your friend? I don't know why, but, apparently I'm fascinated by him.
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
Could you tell me what Kedra is? How did you two become friends? You still haven't told me who he is. He's not going to. What are you doing in his apartment by yourself? I had something else in mind. I assume they're rooming together? Possibly with all that implies? I don't necessarily know. What's Kedra?
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS.
Epis.
But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
What do you mean by that?
That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
That's like 30 years ago, right? I don't remember what year it is, but that seems like that was a while ago. What's this Epis thing you keep talking about? But that doesn't tell me anything about Kedra itself. Is it warm there, cold, something in between? I want to know both these things. I'm going to talk about Epis.
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
I mean, there's something to be said for that, I'll be honest. As a member of the nation that uses the imperial system, it's not great. Continue.
God, yes. Sweet standardization. The backbone of rationality and commerce.
I found somebody else who doesn't like the imperial system. Continue.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me,
You like that phrase?
the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level.
Okay, but like, what does it stand for? What's on the next level? This one first, please. What is it? I want to know actually what that means.
Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole.
What did the letters stand for?
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
You don't even hear the words I'm saying, do you? Either that or he's specifically ignoring them, and I'm not sure which one it is.
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
Is it going to be like this place here? What? Which place where? What?
You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy.
Uh-huh. Is Revachol going to be part of Epis?
It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure.
Which is to say, no, it's not. Continue.
Except that candidate members never become full members, do they?
Presumably there's a process in place for them to become full members, but at least in that one case, it sort of doesn't seem to be happening. Certainly doesn't seem to be happening, rather. Didn't you say that candidate members never become real members? Did you specifically say that?
No. Candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation.
Evaluation.
But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
He chuckles gently. All right, so how did you two even become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Peninsula? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way. You're describing how the coalition occupied Revachol. I mean, that is... Yes, that is what he's describing.
One of the wonders of democracy is that everyone is allowed to have his own opinion. And not just allowed, encouraged even. Have you ever tried debate?
The man pats his pockets looking for something. What do you mean?
Debating. You should consider joining a debating society for adults. I hear they're oodles of fun.
Oodles
I
of
used
fun.
to have a flyer for one, but
But you don't have any of your flyers with you. Continue.
now that I start thinking of it, it was for an improv class anyway. It's this funny theater thing, you know? Very creative. Helps relieve stress.
He moves his fingers. That's a vague way to describe it. Continue.
A chill runs down your spine as you envision a half-dozen people in professional attire standing around a chair, awkwardly pretending to be waiting for a motor bus. It's neither funny nor creative.
It's a bit of a... Yeah, it's a risky proposition getting involved in improv. It can be very good when it's good, but it can be very bad. So it just occurred to me, with these conversation options where they're both important, but I'm only allowed to take one of them, I technically could click back through there and go get it. I'm going to try it with Kedra, okay? Hang on.
Kedra is a candidate that it's never going to happen.
Yeah,
They
this one.
enter negotiations
Kedra itself. Is it warm there,
21,
cold, something
and
in between?
It's warm. It's also known for its mandarin trees and dust storms from Supramundi.
All right, my encyclopedia brain did bring up the mandarin trees at one point, I feel like. Also, he nods. I forgot to read that. Continue.
Kedra's an emerging market, but it still has a long way to go. Maybe that's why my friend's menage decided to emigrate.
Friend's menage. Your friend's menage. I guess you're right. He calls you his Sunday friend, right? He's got a whole menage then. Very well. You still haven't told me who he is, and I'd imagine you're not going to, but let's go ahead and pursue it anyway.
Sorry. Who?
The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about him.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts. The other option is fine, but what's his real name? That's never getting answered. This one.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
Which ones? Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
Right. He's very good at deflection, this guy. I mean, he's a government worker, so I guess that sort of makes sense. But if he doesn't want to answer your question, he will dance around it all day. Let's try.
Sorry. But I told
Let's
you,
try.
officer,
What's his real name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
I mean, that's about what I expected. Sure.
He's a truly
Cool,
free
cool,
spirit.
cool, cool, cool. So what are you doing in his apartment by
He likes-
yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
The man smiles, nodding to the window. What view? It's dark outside. Isn't it rude for your friend to leave you alone like this? He's deflecting again. Obviously, it doesn't make sense. Pointing out the logical fallacies isn't really going to get me anywhere, but... I mean, he's not alone. We're here. Which one? Which one? This one. Isn't it rude for your friend to leave you out alone like this?
We're old friends. Nothing's taboo between us. He comes and goes.
Fair enough. Continue.
I'm sure you'll see him around. He's very active.
Since I'm pursuing other options in this conversation, why don't we
I'm just
do
enjoying
the other one? What view?
Listen.
He says, raising his hand. I apparently have called him out one too many times.
A baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
I'm listening.
Waves crashing in the distance. The sound of sea below the window.
I can hear the waves. Someone baby's bawling his eyes out. What? I'm not hearing anything. I got a legendary perception success, so let's go ahead and take advantage of it. I can hear the waves.
The Insulindian Bay.
What about it?
This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen.
Sure. Okay.
But the million real view stays. You can't take that away.
He knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkening glass. I was asking about your friend.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
A busy bee. Continue.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
It is at that. I had something else in mind.
I'm all ears, officer.
I guess I didn't have something else in mind. Thanks. I've got all I need.
A moment, officer.
Apparently you don't have all you need. Do continue.
Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Hold on. Why can't we talk later? I'm not going anywhere. I just want to look around the apartment. Thanks for the heads up, but my work here is done. Why can't we talk later?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen.
Uh-huh.
And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
He pauses. He did pause for a considerable amount of time. I, for some reason, wasn't expecting him actually to do so, so I waited until after to read that he paused. You get it. You get it. It's fine. Continue.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
Whether the young men in question have menages or not. I feel like we're done here, right? I pursued some extra options in the conversation. Maybe I didn't get absolutely everything out of him. I could pursue down every single last loose end, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to be worthwhile. We know that he saw them drag the body into into the courtyard. I wish I could confer with Kim about this. All right, let's just make sure I didn't miss anything. Taking a look around the apartment.
Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space.
He glances at his watch.
Let me know if you have any further questions.
Oh, I'll do that. Okay, so what's this? Oh, the thoughts.
Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center.
Wumpty Dumpty Dum. Look at that face. What a face.
You're at home, stupid cop. Not with the art crowd.
Hey.
You hate them. Everyone hates them. Even they hate themselves. It's nauseating. An industry built on sprezzatura and sparkling wine. And, let's be honest, tax evasion schemes. The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center is the heart of this unholy symbiosis of aesthetics and tax optimization. And now that you've internalized it, you can have a piece too.
I wondered what I was going to have in terms of a thought about something that I had no idea what it was or what its point was, since I really didn't get much information about the Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, but apparently it's aesthetics and tax optimization. Great. What does that mean? Encyclopedia passage get plus 10 experience and plus 2 real? Right? What? Minus 2 suggestion. Pretentious wanker. I mean... Huh. Wow, that's powerful. Minus 2 suggestion, though. That's rough. I mean, you can make up for it with skill points, and it would give you a lot of skill points. 2 real? Where's it coming from? I guess that's the tax evasion schemes, but like, how does it work? How does I have a thought in my brain and suddenly I generate $2? Like, what? Except, I guess.
Motorway South.
Oh, Motorway South is ready too. Horrifying.
The lone vector stretches in your mind's eye into the wild pale yonder, for an unimaginable distance, forgetting, until you can no longer remember anything. No cities, no mountains, no oceans, and finally, no vector. Nothing remains. A blank space with no point of reference, where only one type of motion is possible. The motion of a human throat, swallow in, and then it comes to you. To reach the end of the motorway south is to be unborn. You've had this thought before, while aimlessly wandering the streets of Jamrock. A lost piece of the man you were. A dark hope.
A dark hope. That's a... Wow. The end of Motorway South is to be unborn. And it's not the first time I've thought about this. So prior to my crisis, I knew about Motorway South, and I'd thought about it hard before. I guess that makes sense that I might have heard of... I mean, certainly I knew about the Pale, but I even knew about Motorway South. I guess it makes sense. If I had enough knowledge about it, enough in my brain to think about it for 8 hours, I guess that makes sense. Bonuses? All intellect white checks unlocked. +1 Inland Empire, the swallowing motion. All intellect white checks unlocked. So this is one of those ones that would be nice under certain circumstances and may not be that great right now for me, but Inland Empire is not terrible, except, I guess. Except... Suggestion -2. So my suggestion is terrible now. I have a -1 base at the moment. For charming men and women and playing the puppet master. I guess it makes sense. That's not how I play things. I guess I get that. Look at that, 4 skill points. We're up to that again. My suggestion. Technically, I could bring it up to a 1 again if I spent 2 skill points on it. My goodness, that's not great. Let me go to my map real quick. Okay, so there's a bunch of white checks that are available now. The conceptualization one is now back, because it's an intelligence one. All right, I put a point in composure so I could talk to Renee again. Not right now, though. It's the middle of the dang night. Rhetoric legendary for Gaston. Oh, that's to steal his sandwich, isn't it? That's to convince him to give you his sandwich. I'm not sure why I would do that, to be honest. He seems like a nice guy. The suggestion check with Lena... I probably should have done that before I took off, but I didn't want to be too late to this thing I'm doing right now, you know? Oh, the Measurehead conceptualization one's open again, for whatever good that does me. Racist lorry driver, Half-Light. That is open again. I don't know why that one is. Warded door. Warded door. Oh, right. That's one that no longer matters. That's the one that goes back into the doomed business area or whatever. And I already went through that. The map wall is the map I already stole. It's fine. Physical instrument to get the ice cream maker open. I'm not planning to do that unless I can find myself a giant crowbar, which I haven't yet. Perception at the cafeteria window. It's not time yet. Titus Hardy authority. I'm not very good at that. The suggestion check with Lillian is asking her on a date, isn't it? And I didn't really feel like doing that at the time. Wash basin. That's shaving. It's not happening. Church doors. Physical instrument challenging, but I've got the key, so that don't matter. Great. So I actually only redid one check, which is the wall outside. Okay. Cool. Great. Did I in fact miss anything in here? Let's have another look around. Would it help to get my flashlight out? Is it dark in here? I genuinely don't know. Let's try getting out my flashlight and also the pry bar, just in case, you know? Just in case. See if anything changes as I look around here. It seems like no, probably not. No, there's not much to see. And that's fine. Honestly, that's fine. Okay. Do we have anything further to say to this man?
Was there anything else?
I think there isn't. I think we're done.
Of course. I'm sorry I couldn't be the break you were looking for. Good luck with the investigation.
Cool, thanks. Kim, you got anything to say about all this? Kim? Kim? Why can't I not talk to Kim? Kim? Kim?
Yes?
There he is. There's still nothing. Okay. Fine, I guess. Well, this has been interesting. I guess let's leave. And never talk to this man again. What a shame. Okay. Well. That sure was an experience. I wonder if I missed something. Because all that I seem to have gotten out of that conversation is proof that the man was not struggling when he was dragged out to be lynched. An eyewitness report. One that we can't really even use for much because we're not going to be able to, like, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be able to call this guy to court necessarily. Maybe you could, but that has nothing to do with me. Plus, we did learn this guy's actual name. So, okay, he counts as a decent eyewitness that happened. So it's more evidence that, in fact, the guy was dead before he was hanged. Although it's not proof that he was dead before he was hanged. It heads that direction, you know? Wow, it's 10:30. Wow, it's 10:30. Wait. They hear the sound of running water. Someone's washing dishes. Really? In there? But I can't knock on the door, so it doesn't really matter. Can I take a look at the conceptualization wall before we wrap up here? Let's have a look.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
In the dimming light, some things become clearer. You have a keen aesthetic sensibility. Cindy's artistic impulses are infectious. Interesting. Do I have more... Which kind of check was it? I'm sorry, what kind of check was it? Conceptualization. Right. Give me a second. Give me just a moment, if you would. Conceptualization. This shirt. Anything else? The lounge jacket. Okay. Done. Anything else? I'm a little worried about the fact that I'm still carrying these around. I'm not worried about doing racist things. Having those in my inventory is kind of a questionable thing, isn't it? Okay, let's have another look at this.
Just an ordinary wall.
72%. I doubt it's going to get much better than that, right? Okay, let's give it one last shot. Why am I looking at this wall?
Because you see it, finally. This wall is sublime. Look at it. The shadows, the colors.
Let the conceptual joy flow into your pupils and blossom into thoughts in your brain. Sure.
All the other walls on all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in adoration of this, the uncontested pinnacle of wallcraft, color peeled from the very face of God.
That would be something to see if all the walls in all the other houses did in fact make such a pilgrimage, particularly if they did it all at once. More!
O Wallfather,
Kim, I must paint this wall. Add even more beauty to it. No, there's nothing to add to perfection. Back off. I must paint this wall, Kim. I must paint the wall, Father.
Huh?
Hi, Kim. Continue.
he sounds tired of it all.
I'm sorry, Kim. I'm sorry I'm like this, but I'm also like this, so continue.
You already have the heavy fuel oil to use as paint. It's red. And Cindy the Skull has a paintbrush. This is on.
First, I know you're tired, Kim, but take another look at the wall. Draw nourishment from its beauty. I already have the paint. I just need to get a paintbrush from Cindy the Skull. Is it always in caps like that? I don't think I'd noticed that before. First, I know you're tired, Kim.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
The lieutenant looks up at the wall reluctantly, then back at you. Thank you for humoring me. I already have the paint. I just need to get a paintbrush from Cindy the Skull.
If you must.
He sighs, then adds in a resigned tone. If you must. Apparently I must. Terribly sorry, Kim. That's just the way it's going to be. In any case, I guess we're done here for now. I don't know what I expected, examining the wall so many times, but apparently we're going to paint it. And I'm kind of excited to see where that goes, but not right now, eh? Not right now. It's time where I got to stop, so thank you for watching. As to next time, I'm guessing there's not going to be much more left to this particular day. We're probably going to have to go to bed fairly soon, because I think most things will start closing down pretty quick, right? Most things are closed, and I think is it 11 o'clock where everything else shuts down, or midnight? Either way, there's not much time left, but if there's something I'm forgetting, I'll try and remember it before then. And wow, the music out here is kind of nice this late at night. I mean, it's always nice, but I just didn't remember hearing it like this. Huh. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.